I sometimes hear the complaint of people saying, my team is farming all 3 lanes and therefore I cannot find any farm. In today's video, we're going to be following Secret Zai and showing how he manages to find farm in a near impossible game. Alright, but all jokes aside, yeah, so Zai in this game had a Meepo, a Riki, and a Batrider who were farming a lot. How does he find farm? How does he make space? Right? Without killing anyone. This game, he made an insane amount of space and found farm for himself without taking away from his cores and griefing the match, right? So this is what you need to do when you have a bad lane and you need to make space in the mid game, right? This can be for a safe laner, mid laner, support, off laner, doesn't matter. This all applies. You just need to follow these concepts. Also, if you guys are a fan of Zai and you think he's the best offlaner in the world, I personally do. I actually think he is, no joke, one of the best in the world. He makes any hero seem easy and clean to play. But if you do, like the video just to help our channel grow. Obviously, we're putting out content daily, so all you have to do is click the button, and no joke, helps me out a ton. I actually mean that. Yeah, now let's get into the content. Hopefully, all of you guys have been watching the recent tournament or the qualifiers for the upcoming tournament that is going to be in Los Angeles, if I'm not mistaken, in America, where I live. Let's go, baby. I unfortunately am not going, but I am watching the tournament and following the qualifiers, and over on the main GameLeap website, I've just made an analysis for OG versus Bulgaria. If you don't know who Bulgaria is, that's fine, because they're like a 2K stack. However, I just analyzed their game and see what OG did well and what the enemy team did bad, and I plan to do more of these in the future, so if you're interested, click the link down below, and you're going to get a lot of great content over there, and especially these qualifier matches that I'll be analyzing. So I'll see you there. Alright, just for starters, you're going to notice that Zai has a very difficult lane, right? He's laning against a Beastmaster plus an Oracle, just a hard lane to lane against. This Oracle has a good attack animation, so in combination with the Inner Beast, it's just hard to lane overall, right? He does an okay job. I'm not going to say he gets crushed, but this is the first thing to note, right? A lot of people are like, oh, I lost my lane, you know, GG, right? No, there's a lot of things you can do, and you want to bank on your carries to carry you. I know he's in the safe lane right now, but this is just a game where they did a lane swap. No big deal. Nothing really to talk about there, unless I want to make a full video on it. All you need to understand is that do not give up after you have a bad lane. It's actually not hard to come back at all, guys. In fact, what I want you to do, if you really want to see a cool little experiment, is look at a game where you thought you were getting crushed, and what you'll come to realize is that you were probably only 1 to 2k net worth behind the entire match. Right? Usually it's just a mental thing. So if you can keep your mentality in check, you can actually keep the game in check. Yeah, just to further the point, you're going to see gets gone on here, dies. Things are obviously not going well. 29 CS at 720 is not abysmal, but at the same time, not great. So what do you do to come back? That's what we'll talk about. So first things first, I just want to make it clear, this concept that I'm about to talk about applies for every single role. If your lane gets way too hard, let a support take it, right? Let a support take it. Leshrac is a hero that wants a lot of XP, right? This is a given. Most supports, if they can get it, want a lot of XP. In fact, I've had position 5 players tell me that they are mad that their safe laner gives them the lane. And I'm like, are you out of your mind? Are you insane? It is such a good thing to do to give your support XP. So if you're a core player and you're having a bad lane, feel free to even just do what Zai's about to do, which is give the Leshrac the lane and just take a jungle camp. Like, that's it. I would love to say more about it, but this is it, right? Like, he has no lane to go to right now. He could technically go mid, but I don't think he wants to instantly take it from the Meepo. He'll have to see. But right, you're kind of just figuring things out. You're getting the vibe of the game while this is happening. So you take a couple of camps in the downtime. Like, I don't think people realize this, but you can just kill a camp to increase your efficiency. And now finally here, he finds the open lane. Why is this an open lane? And why is this what you should be looking for? Well, you don't want to jungle forever, right? At some point in the game, you do want to be looking for the lanes. So if you are jungling, you should be paying attention to what lane opens up as soon as possible by looking at the minimap. He wanted to try to save his Riki here, so he TPs in, helps out the Riki a little bit, and now he's just chilling back, trying to get some XP. In this case, you might be like, Speed, why is he sitting so far back? Well, this is one of the strengths of Zai. He has some of the best game sense in all of Dota, right? He knows when people are going to try to go on him 9 times out of 10, and here, he's afraid of a potential chrono play, right? He knows the Void has chrono, and he understands that if he gets chronoed on this wave, he's going to die, right? So what does he do? He just waits for the wave to come in. He sees that it's pushing in, chills back, swashbuckles it, and is staying back, staying out of vision, being patient. You want to be patient in Dota when you're having a bad game. You need to let people show. You see how he didn't instantly just walk up to the next wave? It's because he's trying to gather information. Pros gather information, pub players usually don't, for whatever reason, at least the majority. And so as you're going to see, why does he decide to push the wave now, guys? Look at this, okay? I want you to pay attention. What changed? What allows him to decide to push the wave right now? It's actually really simple. They showed on the map bottom. That's it, right? But this basically means that he'll probably not die to a chrono attempt now. That's it, right? This is all the information you need to catch back up into games in any single role. So they see him pushing bottom, and in pubs you'll see this all the time. It doesn't matter, like, I hear people complaining now, but Speed, my team has no wards. People are gonna shove waves and show. It's actually one of the weaknesses of low MMR players or average MMR players. They will show. So have a bit of patience, just kind of chill in the trees, chill a bit, wait for things to develop, and then go push in the waves. So now that he knows they're bottom, he starts flash farming, kills a camp, and now instantly TP's mid, just because he wants to defend the mid tower and fight around his spells. So how do you actually keep your game going when it's tough, right? What are the principles here? Right off the bat. First off, you need to kill jungle camps in the downtime. If there's not a lane to farm, or something to do, you kill a jungle camp. Now, every hero can't perfectly jungle or jungle fast. Pango's not one of the best junglers in the game, but you can do it, and you should. So, number 2, right, you try to find the open lane. So you wait for people to show, you wait for a core to leave a lane, or you just look for the lane that no one is occupying, which will very often happen in pubs. Don't tell me it doesn't, that's not true. It almost always does. I've played a ton of pubs myself. So, in this case, Zai found the top lane. Then, he's patient, making sure he doesn't die, gathering information, waiting for people to show, and then, when they show, he starts flash farming. Wave, jungle camps, wave, jungle camps, until now, he decides to fight. Remember guys, I'm not incentivizing you to AFK farm at all. You don't have to AFK farm. If you have your spells up, you can go fight. So he sees a good opportunity to fight. Why is this a good opportunity to fight? This is perfect. People don't get this, but this is perfect. It is because it is a mid-tier 1 defense. The best place in Dota to fight at, and you can see this if you just watch pro games, is the mid-tier 1 tower. It's very easy to close on your teammates and collapse on them, right? So Zai TP's in and defends and takes a good fight, right? He didn't force a fight at the bottom shrine, or the bottom outpost, I should say. No, he fights at mid-tier 1. Just the best way to get farm and then fight. And so now let's look at the map one more time, because this is what you need to do if you're trying to gain MMR. You have to look at the map. There's actually no players who don't get better looking at the map that go up in MMR, unless, I don't know, you pick the same hero 8,000 games in a row. But as you're going to see here, why is he jungling? Leshrac pushing in bottom, Batrider pushing in mid, so he jungles. Right? You have to do things. And now in this case, he sees his Riki pushing a tower, so he goes and takes the wave. Just secures the tower. Good efficiency play, right? Remember, you don't always have to gank people. He has a Javelin right now. He could probably go kill someone, right? Yes, but there's no need to do that, right? They're building a net worth lead because he knows his cores are farming, right? In this case, he has a Meepo, so he feels even safer. But look, this is my favorite play of the game. No joke, this is my favorite play of the game, and it barely is anything. He considered walking bottom, but then he decided that, okay, my supports are going to defend the tower, right? His supports are just delaying. That's all they're doing. They're delaying. So what does he do? He farms a camp. I actually can't believe that people think it's complex to get better at Dota. Like, there are complex things and complex ideas, but the main things you have to improve on if you're actually trying to get better and not just an information... What's the word? There's a vulgar word I would use, but an information lover, right? If you're not just the 3K player who just knows everything about Dota but can't apply everything, this is what you have to do. Just actually go kill the nearby camp for once in your games, rather than telling me, Shpeen, my teammates just take all the farm and there's nowhere to go. Like, no, it's because you're not looking for any of it. And now, we see him make a play on top. Why is this a good kill attempt? Right? Because they saw them showing bottom, right? They saw the enemy showing bottom, so they know this is relatively safe. And what do you know? They do not overcommit for it. Matoma Man secures the kill, runs away, Zai disengages, back out of vision, secures the outpost, fine, another efficiency play. Immediately after that, back to the jungle, deep in the jungle. Where is he supposed to farm right now? Look at the map. This is basically the only place. Meepo's taking mid, supports bottom, Riki top. Fine, so you take deep jungle. This allows him to have impact and make plays while still farming. He's also not contesting farm at the Meepo. Sure, you could be like, well, other heroes' Speed, if he was playing an Underlord, he might die doing this. Well, a lot of heroes, yes, they might die doing this, but you're still going to have the same impact of making space and really just forcing rotations, which we'll see in a bit, right? Flash farming in the enemy jungle, occupying the side of the map, right? The Dota map will often split. If you look at the heroes right now, this is a natural thing in Dota that happens a lot. It splits, so this is safe for him, right? The Dota split, the map literally switches. It goes from the river being the halfway point to just straight up the vertical middle line of the map. Alright, upcoming here is a play that most players would never ever consider doing, because when the majority of pubs that I watch, if someone thinks they need to kill someone, they actually think they have to kill them to have the impact of the kill. Did that make any sense? That might have been really confusing. Basically, all I'm trying to say is, guys, you can force rotations and have impact without securing the kills. You can do things on the map and force rotations and swing the net worth without going crazy. So in this case here, right, he sees the Oracle TPN, and then simply saves his Riki. This is impact. The Riki was the one who forced the rotation, but you could either be the Pango or the Riki in this situation and have the impact. Matamba Man forces the reaction, which is something you can do, right? He forces the TP, and they get out, right? They get out. And now what does this allow them to do? Have the Meepo go bottom, Leshrac go mid, right? They're swinging them around the map. Zai understands that one of the main strengths of his hero is that he can bait people in, right? He can get them to come to him and then disengage. So as we see, that's exactly what he does. Gets them to come into the jungle where he was farming and then backs up. This is the best way to create space and farm at the same time. Hands down, you should try this if you're not and give it a go. And then instantly, he sees them go bottom. Look at this. Do you see how it's kind of like it's almost like a circle? The map kind of goes in a circle that is sometimes clockwise and sometimes counterclockwise. Like that's their movement, right? They go like clockwise and counterclockwise. Oh, the team pushes them out. They go back. The team goes back to the other side of the map. They push in. It's like a really interesting thing you guys need to think about more. And it's so effective if you can get this down. And yeah, Dota is really just a game of figuring out how to push in lanes like that are going to affect the game properly, right? He knows his Meepo's jungling in this game, so he plays top for the most part. Very smart. If his team wanted to play mid and top, then he would play bottom, because that's what you do as a sacrificial hero. And frankly, you can do this in any game. If you want to create space for your team, you learn how to bait the enemy team to you, and then back up. If you can do that over and over again without dying, you will create so much impact, it's insane. But as we saw here, right, if I go back 10 seconds, his Meepo wants to Rosh. So what do you do when you want to Rosh? You push in the mid wave so that the enemy team has to walk through a wave and show themselves coming, and that's exactly what we see here, right? And now, obviously, we're just going to see a nice little team fight from Zai. Nothing too crazy. I'm sure there's a lot of Pango players who could do what he's doing here. Really nothing too crazy. He just rolled in, did some damage, isolated the opponents, right? Specifically the Beastmaster here, and that's about it. It's not that you guys can't do this. It's a question of, did you take all the steps to have level 11 at 60 minutes in a game where you're 0-1? I would argue that he has more impact that 3K players have when they're 8-0. I'm not kidding. Just because of his map movement and ability to make people rotate around the map and not steal farm from people with higher priority than him. And yeah, that's going to be the main messages for this video. This is something that I would like to discuss more with people, so if you want to talk about it in the Discord or even in DMs or even just in a coaching session, obviously you could let me know. I mean, it's one of those things where creating space is, in my opinion, the hardest thing in Dota, right? Because creating space, for most players, what it means is that they're running around and killing people. But it's actually not that. It's usually more so, how are you maneuvering around the creep waves and such, right? How are you forcing rotations? How are you farming in a way that doesn't take away from your carries or your cores that need more farm than you, which could be an offlaner, by the way, guys. And then finally, this is the most important thing you could do in Dota, right? Team fight well. Look at what Zai does here. It's literally perfect. You don't get better than Zai, right? Ready? Watch this. So he's going to roll in, comes into the fight, bangs into the wall, and completely wastes the entire Pangolier ulti. I mean, do you guys do that? I don't think you do. You're just not good. You're just not good enough to do that, so you gotta keep practicing. And then he gets roared. But yeah, I mean, that's just an immaculate team fight. Clearly, Nisha is not carrying him, right? That's not the case. He's definitely not getting carried. But for sure, guys, hopefully you look at this and you don't see this as, oh, Zai's getting carried. That's not how Dota works. The best players in the world can look at this and be like, yeah, Zai had a lot of impact because he took the farm that he had to, and he forced the rotations he needed to, and he showed up to the mid-tier 1 fight that was an optimal fight. He did what he had to do, and he got farm when there wasn't much to do. If that makes a lot of sense, please like the video. I mean, it's just one of those things where I think people really are still overthinking Dota, and I know I say that in a lot of videos, but try not to overthink it and try to execute, right? Try to keep track of how much you're walking around and not killing in the extra camp and not buying that clarity so you could farm an extra 2-3 creep camps and then taking the farm from your Anti-Mage or not creating space when you should be. These are the questions you need to ask, not, why does my offlane keep losing speed? Like, how am I supposed to carry if my offlane loses? I actually don't want to hear that. I keep getting I actually get so many messages, people telling me, they're like, oh, Speed, I have a question. And then when they tell me, Speed, I have a question, they give me a story of how their lanes lost and there wasn't much they can do. What am I supposed to say, guys? What am I supposed to say? So I'm here making a video saying that there's always something to do no matter how bad your lanes go. Right? It doesn't matter. You can always find farm. You need to look at the map and find farm. But going back to the point, I can't answer your question if you just tell me that your teammates suck. Okay, I agree, your teammates probably suck, but you do too. Figure out the problem. There's a solution. Figure it out and then execute and practice. Good lord. But thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe. There's a lot more content like this over on the main GameLeap website. So yeah, check that out, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Are you tired of being hard stuck at your rank? Over at GameLeap.com, we have a library of hundreds of guides authored by pro players and coaches covering literally every aspect of Dota.
Whether you're looking to master a new hero or role, or just polish up your existing skills, GameLeap is the proven place for competitive gamers to hone their craft and unlock their secret potential. Hit the link on screen right now, to take advantage of our special offer for a 25% discount, guys. 25%, and start your journey today.